Twitter right now. What does that mean?
EFAP.
EFAP. What does it mean to EFAP?
It's just like a internet wank, isn't it? That's what it sounds like, at least. Not that I would know. It's just complete guess.
No. Speculating, yeah, no, totally. Ooh.
What are you ooh and ahhing about?
Oh, there's just lots of different sales stuff going on. And I've just seen that VG Charts have posted their estimates, and Series X and PS5 are like neck and neck. Like PS5 is 7.67 million and Xbox Series S and X is 7.2.
Ooh.
Which is pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting.
I hate the comments that Twitter decides to show me below these types of posts. It's just like a load of pictures with Phil Spencer with a really big nose, or like Jim Ryan like jumping out of a plane or something. It's so stupid.
It's the best.
The other day I saw someone had taken a picture, like a personal picture of Phil Spencer, and like aged him, so he was like 80, and he was like still waiting for games, and I was like, leave the guy alone, man. Like,
yeah, it's kind of weird. Chill out. Yeah, he's building quite the repertoire for us, quite the arsenal. Chill out. All right, we're live, and I've got an image ready to go. So yeah, I think we're literally just good to kind of start.
Okay, let me just check in and make sure that the stream's coming through all right.
It should all be good. Oh, I didn't do any of like the noise reduction stuff you were talking about. How would I do that anyway?
Oh,
Is it
okay.
something quick?
It's just in Discord. To be honest, it's probably turned on by default, but yeah, if you just have a look on Discord and just have a look if there's
what settings?
An option there. Yeah, you know, settings down at the bottom, and then go down to voice and video. Then if you scroll down again, there's like loads of different audio options.
Yeah, noise suppression is on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Echo
okay.
Cancellation, it's all on. Yeah, I mean, it's something maybe we can do in OBS, but yeah, it's just one of those things. As much as this laptop does run everything really well, yeah, it's gonna get the fans going a little bit, unless you're using a proper desktop PC. That's what you're gonna get, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. No,
it doesn't help that
this
is like. It's like a multi-directional mic as well. It's not just like popping it. It's not just like I can talk into it here. It's like it's probably picking it up from the reverse end as well, which is a little bit annoying.
Yeah. There's a word for it, isn't there, when it's like unidirectional? I can't remember.
Well, it's just
all over the place.
360-degree audio, I think.
Nah, it's got a proper word for it.
Nah.
It's like they have like different shapes for it.
I know what I'm talking about.
Also, did you know? Well, because when I was looking around to buy this new microphone, that you know, we use pop filters to like the thing that pop filters are trying to stop. Obviously, it's like P's and like hard P's and B's and things like that. Those are called plosions. Plosions.
Kind of makes sense. Yeah, like MIDI plosions.
Plosions. Yeah. Just funny.
Yeah, it's quite a funny term. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything working your end?
Yep, I think that all sounds right. It was really weird because my voice just started playing like out of nowhere, and I was like, where's that coming from? No. And it went away. I can hear me. That's great. Can I hear you? Yeah, all looking dandy.
Cool.
I'll tell you what. Do one little thing for me. Just stretch our badge just a bit bigger so it overlaps the top of the our video boxes. Just so it like overlaps the corners.
Overlaps the corners.
Yeah. So yeah, have it go over the top of the corners of the boxes.
That's stretching it a lot, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's okay. Look at those handsome graphics. We've got to have really,
All right, there you go.
we've got to lean into that. Excelente. All right, shall we get jingling then and we'll get going?
Yeah, let's do it. So I thought I was going to beatbox the jingle this week.
To me too.
Open the show, come on, man. I can't do this all day.
Okay.
No,
Hi,
no,
everyone.
I'm
Welcome
kidding.
back to episode 63.
Sorry.
Are we doing it now?
Yeah, we're doing it now. I'm sorry.
Hi, guys. This is Quick Return Podcast, where we hate each other.
Yeah.
My name is Deck, and joining me today is our horrible producer.
was my good friend. I'm Tim. Hello.
He's Tim, and we're coming at you with a rather quiet week of Xbox news, but there have been things that have been happening anyway. In just the general world, MultiVersus has hit, hasn't it? That's been a big deal.
Yeah.
Jeff Grubb over at GiantBomb sprinkled some Black Panther nuggets into our mouths. I've been watching a lot of like Jeff Goldblum documentaries recently, so I'm trying to channel a lot of Jeff Goldblum. Have you seen on Disney Plus? He's doing like documentaries.
Oh, I had no idea. I was about to say, how many documentaries could there be about Jeff Goldblum? They're not about him. He's just doing documentaries and voicing it, is he? Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's a friendly guy, but
Yeah.
he has he's got like a real issue with personal space.
Really?
Every time he's like, "This is a wonderful cacophony of delightful sensation," and he's like really close to everyone like all the time, and they're like,
Okay. Oh,
"I
God,
agree, Jeff."
I had no idea. He's
a
boy,
friendly
though.
chap, but
Yeah, he's a boy.
yeah, he's a friendly chap. He just gets very close, and it's frightening. So anyway, Tim, how are we doing? What games have we been playing this week?
This week, I have been playing mainly MultiVersus with you, which released into... So, yeah, it released into open beta for everybody this week, was that PC included?
I think so.
Because I think PC have had this for a while already, I feel.
There were like closed betas. I don't know what platforms it was on.
And like, if you were to purchase the Founders Pack, like, how long have people been playing this already? Like, because obviously we had the option when we were talking about it to be like, oh, we could buy like the Founders Pack and start playing it. Like, did that start like a month ago or like 2 months ago? I feel like I've seen videos on this on like YouTube from quite a while ago now. People playing this game. So, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Regardless,
Just
it went into open beta this week.
it did.
And yeah, it's pretty damn good, man. I mean, this is quite a weird one for us because we kind of just sprung onto it out of nowhere, didn't we? Last week, was it last week? We were literally
On
just
the
like,
show, yeah.
remember that like MultiVersus game, and then you thought that like it went through a little bit of like bad PR and stuff like that, but I think you got that mixed up with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawler or whatever it's called. And then we were just like, yo, this actually kind of looks really good. And then we just realised the time and date for it. Yeah, so that came out and we've been playing that like loads. I think that's probably the most I've binged a fighting game in a short period of time
Absolutely.
probably ever, to be honest. Like, I tend to buy your Mortal Kombats and your Injustices and stuff, but I don't know, I tend to kind of drop them fairly quickly once. I've never been that person that pushes my skill ceiling in fighting games. I kind of just drop off. I have a bit of fun with it and then I drop off.
Can you just pause a second? Keep going. I've just got a message from the pregnant lady saying she needs me really quick, so I'm just going to go and run and help her, and then
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah.
I'll
No
be back.
worries. Yeah, do what you got to do. Do what
So
you got
just
to
keep
do.
doing what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. No worries. Um, yeah, yeah. So obviously, MultiVersus came out. I've been playing that mainly with Deck. And yeah, like I said, I've been really enjoying it. I think the reason I'm enjoying it the most over other fighting games, like I said, I have purchased and done fighting games in the past, is I quite like the whole like team working route they've gone down. I think that's pretty cool. Like the game is kind of built for your 2v2, and I'm kind of into that. You still have your 1v1 options and stuff like that, but you can definitely tell that the characters' abilities, like, I don't know, they just like work with each other and they have like interactions with each other, and you've got all your different classes that do different things, like your tanks, your supports, and stuff like that, which, you know, aren't going to be fantastic in 1v1s. You know, they're kind of built for your 2v2s. And there's just so much synergy that comes into this fighting game over something like Smash, like Smash Bros. Obviously, the immediate comparison between the immediate comparison is Smash Bros to this game, right? Like it has the Smash Bros formula, but I feel like it develops it in a way that I actually prefer in MultiVersus, because I don't know, I just prefer that whole team working aspect and the whole 2v2 thing. I feel like I just vibe with that a little bit more personally. I guess coming from my sort of background as well, like in like MOBAs and all that kind of stuff, I tend to play like support characters and tank characters. So I think it's kind of cool that I can do that with Deck, who's like playing like an assassin or like a mage and stuff like that. I can keep him alive and peel and do all that sort of stuff. And yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with that. I'm sure Deck will talk about his experiences with it as well, but we're both enjoying that quite a lot. And we'll probably jump back into that when he gets back, helping out his partner. But the other game I've been playing is on the Switch, which is not Monster Hunter. We're still playing Monster Hunter, but there's this game called Roguebook, which just came out of nowhere. I didn't even realize it was a thing until my brother actually mentioned it. And it's basically like a Slay the Spire clone. I'll go into this a little bit more because now I can see Deck's back, so we can pick up where I left off in MultiVersus. But you back? Hello?
Sorry about that.
That's good. No worries.
Yeah, I'm good. Hello. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Everything okay, I assume? Yeah?
Yeah, it was okay. She's just sorting the garage out, and like something started getting like wobbly, like like stands for boxes and stuff.
Okay.
So I can't hold this up.
Okay.
So I need to run down and go get it. So what did I miss? So we spoke about MultiVersus.
Yeah, I was basically
never really
just
stuck with a fighting game before.
Yeah, and then I basically just went into talking a little bit more about just why I think I've enjoyed it a little bit more over other fighting games that I've played, and like just like its formula. And I was just saying, like, I think the reason I'm enjoying it more is the whole, it's built around the like 2v2, and there's like teamwork aspects and interactions with the characters and stuff. And I was saying that, like, weirdly, I know I'm still a little bit in honeymoon phase, but I kind of prefer the way MultiVersus is approaching this genre, this Smash Bros genre, a little bit more than Smash Bros itself. Like, I think I've had more fun with this game than I have with Smash. Smash has always just been like a really fun, like, thing I just do when there's loads
Like
of friends
casual.
around. Yeah, it's very casual.
A party game, yeah.
I've never been good at it. I've never wanted to get better at it, but you know, MultiVersus is definitely, you know, it's something that I can see myself playing and wanting to get better at. And I was saying I think I quite like that because, like, you know, when we play like MOBAs and all these sorts of games, and I tend to play like support tank characters and stuff because I like quite like that role. So like, I think it's pretty cool that I can play that role in this sort of genre fighter now as well. And yeah, I was basically just going on about how I'm enjoying it, but you know, feel free to talk about how you've found MultiVersus so far.
Yeah, no, I think it's been amazing. I'm really pleasantly surprised. I don't know if you touched on the numbers as well, but like it's done absolute gangbusters.
Yeah, I haven't touched on that yet.
Just on Steam. Yeah, you know, it did like 140,000 and then 200,000 in its opening like day, I think, like concurrent players, which for a fighting game is like unheard of. And you know, I don't know if we have like an official comparison, but like Maximilian was posting about kind of the numbers it was hitting on Twitter, and like this might have just been the biggest fighting game launch ever.
Yeah.
You know, because usually fighting games remain a bit niche, right?
Yeah, I was about to say, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the only free-to-play fighting game that's ever actually happened as well, right? I think.
Been a few, but the only other one, Killer Instinct.
Ah, Killer Instinct. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Everybody loved that model. Everybody said that was a really good model. It was really ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was.
Killer Instinct Season 1 and 2. But yeah, of course, that is helping it. But like that's the way that a lot of these live service games are going. You know, it's no wonder that these games hit the numbers that they do because people can just hop in, and you know the monetization is yet to be seen. The battle pass grind is very slow. The rate at which you like get coins to unlock characters, I think, is reasonably fair. I think it's pretty good, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that there's 4 characters in rotation at a time. You know, that rotates weekly. And you know, you can see on the left hand side there's like a little basket in there that says coming soon, so presumably they're gonna have a rotating shop, and the prices of that are yet to be seen. But some of the skins you can buy are on the pricey side, like for sure. Like some of them are like 2,000 or 1,500 gleamium, you know, which quite a lot, and they're not like,
what does that
they're
translate?
good skins, but they're not like,
what does that translate to?
It's your expected stuff.
Like 15 quid. Like that sort of thing. Okay.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
So I think it is a bit on the, like some of those premium purchases are on the pricey side, but we'll have to see how it goes. You know, the only thing I can think about when free to play games, like when we're having these discussions about monetization of free to play games, is like what happened with Halo. And that's still going on. Like some of the items they're selling in there are for like 200 credits now, or whatever it's called. Is it credits in Halo? I can't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
But and people are still like, this is too much. Like it should cost the same amount as like a Freddo, or like it's nothing else. But anyway, beside the point. So yeah, it's all looking quite good. But the only thing I'm a bit reserved about is the prices, because other than that, man, yeah, I've been having an absolute blast with this game.
It's great.
I've been playing it like as my podcast game as well. Like when I'm chilling, listen to podcasts, I just like go in the lab, you know, hop into 1v1s. And I had like a 10 win streak with Wonder Woman.
In 1v1s?
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Wow.
This game makes me really salty though. This game makes me really angry.
I feel like
I don't know why.
I feel like every fighting game does that, yeah. I mean, just immediately, like, the stereotypes of, like, specific characters, you know, like what's meta and what's not. Like, we just immediately hate Finn players, which is one of the characters you can play. And they've just got this reputation already for just being toxic. Like, they bag you after games, like, they like leave without rematching if they lose, like just all this kind of stuff. It's like they just manifested like toxicity like immediately into that character. It's so weird.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
It's one of those things where literally any character could be turned over. Like when we see who we're playing, any character gets turned over, and I'm like, oh, like even like there's nothing wrong with who they're playing.
Oh, Steven Universe.
You're bound to have had. Yeah. Oh, Superman. Oh, fuck it. It's Superman, dude.
Yeah, the thing that triggers me the most are Finn Superman combos. That's it. Everything else, yeah, Tom and Jerry's a little bit annoying. He's a bit spammy, whatever. But then you get up in his grill and you can kind of mess him up. But, oh my god, Superman and Finn. Oh my god, because you know they just resort to like just 2 moves when they start losing. That's it. Superman just flies around everywhere and Finn just hits you with his spin bag move. That's it. And Finn's so quick you can't catch him, and Superman's up in the top of the screen so you can't catch him. And if you go near him, he grabs you and punches you. So it's just like, god, it's so irritating. There are a few times I wanted to put my fist through the screen the other night when we were playing it. But yeah. I think that comes with any competitive game, so I'm not bashing on MultiVersus. You know, that's just a thing. So,
sure. It does, and it's just a nice. We were speaking about this the other day. It's got a real nice like one more game kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Just sort of play one more. The games never last too long that it feels exhausting, but long enough where you can have comebacks and like good wins and good games. Yeah, it's been excellent, and they've got like kind of the perk systems as well, and like the signature moves that you can swap it up. So people's characters are usually going to feel a little bit different. And it adds a nice like progression curve when you're kind of learning the character, right? Because you experiment with them as you go and you get more perks. It's very nice.
Yeah. No, it's really good. Yeah, I do like the whole perk system. And when you double up with like teammates perks, you get like added bonuses and stuff like that. If you both have the same perk, I think it's cool. I think it's really neat. And I think some of the actual big character perks are actually pretty game changing as well. They're like quite unique and funny, and you actually have to like adapt your playstyle to use them as well for some of them. Like I remember like one of LeBron's was like you have to like specifically do like a no look pass to like a teammate to get like a flaming basketball and stuff like that. So it kind of alters the way I change a bit. But if I pull it off, it's really awesome, and I get like a really cool like fire effect and damage over time. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's definitely the most fun I've had with a fighting game in a very long time. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's super neat. I'm excited. And we just did that cool thing where they brought in the Cromulon map right from Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
And it was like because it was like 10 million knockouts, and they were like, we were anticipating this would take 3 days minimum. It took 3 hours. Like,
Yeah.
what happened?
Well, everyone just picked Finn.
That too. All the games just ended in 40 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was cool though. I thought that was really cool that they made like a little community challenge to unlock the map and stuff like that. It's always neat when you do stuff like that. I don't know. It's something small, but it's just interactive and it's cool, and it's better than just being like, here's a new map. I don't know.
Yeah. And to be honest, the roster of maps is kind of small.
Yeah, it's like 4
I
now
will say
with
the
that
maps.
one.
Yeah, I will say generally the maps don't blow me away. There's like 1 or 2 standouts.
Yeah.
But I think some of them are a bit like boring.
Yeah.
They're just like whatever.
I think the best one in terms of like mechanics and just it being interesting is probably the Scooby-Doo mansion, with the floors falling out and like the gates coming up and stuff like that. I feel like that's quite interesting. Where all the others are kind of just like, it's a platform, it's one platform, and you knock people off. I'd say that one is probably the better of the two. But they tried to add some interesting things like environments you can bounce off and stuff. So yeah, it's not dire, but they could definitely use some more maps and spicing them up.
Yeah, and we'll see. And obviously, there's like there's been like a leaked roster of who may or may not be in the games. Some voice lines pointing to different characters. Some more from Game of Thrones, hopefully Lord of the Rings. Apparently Harry Potter characters were on the cards as well, but apparently they're running into licensing issues. There's like leak accounts that I'm following on Twitter, but apparently they're having some licensing issues now with Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So it's like, right. Don't worry, they'll let people make a Gollum game, but they won't put Gandalf in fucking MultiVersus. That's too far. Like literally a Warner Bros. Product.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I don't get it. But hey.
Gollum in Multiverse, though.
The what, sorry?
Gollum in Multiverses, though.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'd prefer that than him having a standalone fucking video game, so...
Yes. Maybe this is just an elaborate marketing campaign for him coming to Multiverses.
Yeah.
We can hope.
God, yeah. That would be the real win right there. That closed off my 2022 nicely.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
is there anything else you want to say about
that? No. I think we've covered MultiVersus quite nicely. I mean, I think we're both enjoying it. Like I said, we're still a little bit in the honeymoon phase with it. But I think we're going to carry on playing it, and we'll talk about it. I guess before we drop it, we should state our mains, right? Who we main? Who's your main? As of now.
Well, I mean, I've been playing like I got Bugs to 15. Bugs has a place in my heart. But I've got Wonder Woman at like 14 now.
Yeah. Okay.
So it probably still is Bugs, but I'm really enjoying Wonder Woman. And I've got to say, the other day I was doing a 1-to-1 and I played against the Bugs and I was like, this is this is what I do. I hate this.
Yeah,
He was just flying from side to side, throwing shit at me, and I was like, I hate this.
Yeah, yeah. All characters are annoying in their own ways. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. So probably Bugs at heart, but you're enjoying Wonder Woman right now. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'd probably say I'm in a similar spot. I'd say I'm like a Rain Dog at heart. Like I do love me some Rain Dog. He's so cute and fluffy, and he's actually kind of great. Like he's much better than I was kind of expecting him to be.
Low-key busted.
Low-key busted. Yeah, he is good. Yeah.
I play against him in 1-to-1, and they kick the shit out of me every time. They do some ridiculous shit. Like some of their combos are mental.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. Yeah, and they just got like great like damage over time as well. If they use that beam and it just stretches across the map, and then you could also throw down the bit of fire and then just projectile through it and stuff. You could really rack up some damage on him. But I also unlocked LeBron, and I've been playing LeBron loads. And I've got him to like 13 now. So he's great fun, and I always, whenever I slam dunk someone, I'm always like, fucking see ya! It's just like fly out of the screen. It's just so satisfying. It's like my catchphrase.
Yeah. I saw somebody called him LeBroke.
LeBroke. God, well, apparently everyone's LeBroke in this game, according to people.
I don't think he's LeBroke, but
people need
it was
to
just
widen
funny.
their necks in, man.
LeBroke.
Yeah.
Why is Bugs getting enough? What's that about? No.
Yeah. I don't really think Bugs is like OP. Like I've faced a fair amount of Bugs, and I don't really think he's a bit obnoxious, but then like every character is in their own way. Like if a character wasn't like annoying or good in a specific way, then why are they in the game? But I've been having a lot of fun with LeBron. He is pretty awesome. But yeah, I'd say I'm a Rain Dog.
It makes some cool team play. I think it's quite cool that they openly have like a type of character that they just call experimental. Like I think that gives them a lot of breathing room to just make a weird character and be like, we know they're not competitive. Like it says right there, experimental. Like
Yeah, he has some cool things. You can like pass the ball to like a teammate, and then if you like hit an enemy with the ball, it like flies up in the air, and I can like teleport to it, like just automatically. I like instant transmission to it, and then I can slam dunk
just
it.
as LeBron can do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very realistic.
And I think I get like armor when I do it as a result of that if it's off like a teammate pass. But yeah, it's just cool, man. There's just really neat interactions with everything. But yeah, those are my two favorite at the moment, I'd say. But yeah,
it's awesome.
And then apart from MultiVersus, I've been playing a little bit of this new game called Roadbook as well, which I bought on my Switch, which is basically a Slay the Spire clone. But it's good. It does its own stuff enough to differentiate it. I mean, for a start, you play with two characters. You can like pick both your characters as well. You unlock I think there's one unlock, and then you can purchase one as well. But you're like, oh, I want to pick this lady, Shara, and I'll pick this guy too. Double offense or double defense. You go in with the two heroes, and there's like a whole like front line and back line system. So like they swap to the front and to the back to take damage from the enemies, and it's really cool. But yeah, it's like a card builder, deck builder game. There's like relics, just like Slay the Spire. There's the overworld is done in a unique way because you're like inside a book. You got like a paintbrush and you like uncover spaces, and it's just like random what you'll come across.
That's very cute.
Very cute. Yeah. But yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. And it's currently on offer at the moment on the Switch store. So I don't know if that's worth maybe you grabbing while it's on offer and just bank it for later, because mate, like I'm pretty hooked on it, and we both love Slay the Spire, so you're gonna love that, I think.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I'm just having a look at some of the images now. Yeah, it does look pretty neat. They're very cool. It's a very cool genre of games.
Oh, I love
Isn't it?
it. Like it's so
Deck
cool.
builder roguelites. It's very cool.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. And there's like little they got a different system as well where you can like buy items in shops that like have little effects on them, and you can like slot them into cards, which is quite interesting. It's like Monster Hunter, like adding a decoration to your armor. So you can like add
Right.
like a thing with like adds 3 bleed to this card, or you know, this card heals you for 10, but then it dissolves after you use it, so it's only like one time use, and you slot it in and stuff like that. You know, you can actually change the effects of the cards after, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does some pretty neat stuff, man. Yeah, I like it. I'm having good fun with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that sounds good to me. I mean, so with all of that in mind, I mean, I've got a segue for you here. If we sort of move on to the news, because with us playing Multiverse, Multiverse is kind of coming out of nowhere, and us kind of playing that. It might be the only thing we're playing till November, Tim.
Oh god.
Because of course, Warhammer Darktide got a fatty delay. It got bodied back into November 30th, end of November, and that, Tim. They also said that the Xbox release is coming shortly after. In air quotes.
Essentially,
after.
we got a double delay.
Yeah, right. Literally, a double delay out of nowhere. And like we were speaking on Xbox at the time, I think, weren't we? And I just started groaning. It must have sounded like I just like eaten something bad, like a rotten egg or something, because I was literally like, oh.
Yeah, that was literally your
I can't
reaction.
believe it.
And I was like, what? And you just like, look at your phone. And I was just like, you just sent me like the article or the picture or something. And I was like, for fuck's sake. Like, we've been saying like how we've been waiting for this, and like, oh, it sucks, man. Yeah, it really sucks.
It was Xbox's saving grace. I mean, there are other things that Xbox are doing this year which are nice, like Grounded 1.0 release, Pentiment, Plague's Tale is coming day one to Games Pass. Like, these aren't small deals, but they're not the same as something like a big timed or full exclusive. I'm never sure. It's probably just timed. Like Darktide, which has been previewed really well, being pushed back to the end of the year. It's like,
yeah, it sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. Yeah, and I just don't know how that's going to go with everything leading into 2023, because I don't know what's on the horizon early 23 for Xbox. So it's just like, are we going to have enough time to like dedicate to this? Like we wanted to. Like, I feel like we could have given it a really good chunk of time if it came out as it was predicted to do. So, and now it's like, is it just going to get lost in a sea of 2023? Which would be a real shame. Yeah, no, it completely sucks. There's no way to sugarcoat it. I'm not happy. I always say, if a developer needs time to, sorry, not a developer, Fat Shark. If Fat Shark needs Fat Shark need time to polish their game and make it better, then so be it. But this is punched right to the nutsack. I tell you what, fucking sucks.
No, it is. It is. You're absolutely right. Like, we're never going to say don't delay it. It's good that they can delay it. But it's just awkward timing, considering this year has been slow, especially the back half of this year for Xbox, and this was kind of the saving grace, I think, for a lot of people. For a lot of people, it will be Pentiment if shooters or like co-op shooters aren't their thing. But like you said, it starts to get busy early 23. Like, we know Redfall and Starfield are first half of 23. We don't know when that'll be. Yeah. I imagine, if I had to guess, Starfield is going to be like May time.
Oh, okay. I was thinking more like March, but
I think Redfall will come first, maybe in March time.
Okay.
And the last thing we need is Redfall going up in a similar time frame as Darktide, because it will draw comparisons that it does not want, which they are. They're not similar games, but it will create comparisons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not to mention, it's it's shooter versus shooter in a lot of people's brain. That's how they're going to see it, and they're going to be like, "Oh, well, I played Vermintide, so I'm going to get Darktide." Where it's just like Redfall is a bit more of a risk maybe on people's radar, especially if they don't sort out their marketing and how they're actually what this game is, and maybe they should release articles that actually provide information. We definitely don't want that, and that looks like that's what's gonna shape up. So hopefully we see Darktide genuinely like in like January or like February, like something like that. Like hopefully they just get their stuff together, and it could be out for a solid couple months before Redfall, or a solid month or something like that. That's what I'm hoping for.
So that is disappointing, and I guess to double down on one of the things that we mentioned there is yes, you did hear us correctly. It's been delayed till November 30th for PC, and then they put an undefined, they said shortly after, quote, shortly after for Xbox consoles.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind, this is like one of the first, other than Flight Sim, this is one of the first games that is just a Series S and X game. Mm-hmm. It's next gen only. You can't play this on One or One X unless you're streaming it. I don't know if that'll be available on day one. I'm not sure. This disparity between Xbox and PC has been a thorn in my ass for a while now. It has been a bit annoying, whether that's Age of Empires, whether that was Flight Sim, and now it's Darktide. Like Darktide, I don't understand. This is being marketed as an Xbox game. I mean, I know people are going to say Xbox is PC as well, but read the room a little bit. You can get the sense that this is marketed towards an Xbox crowd first and foremost. I mean, I'm happy to be corrected if I'm reading this wrong, but that's how I saw it. And it doesn't make sense to me that this game has... I mean, the only conclusion I can draw is that it's been given more resources for PC development than it has Xbox development. And that's how we're now in a place where one is ready to go and the other isn't. Yeah. And it's just silly. It's just such a bad look, especially it's going to rub Xbox players the wrong way when they keep seeing games... What they're going to feel like is their hard-earned Xbox tax dollars, going into PC development when they're not playing on PC.
Exactly.
And there are going to be people who develop who benefit from both ecosystems. That will happen for sure. But there's a large chunk of people who don't, who are just console players. I would argue the majority of people are like that, and are going to be frustrated to keep seeing these first-party titles going to PC with not even a date. Like, Age of Empires isn't even officially announced for Xbox consoles yet. We don't even know if it ever will. At the very least, they need to be coming out and saying, this will be getting an Xbox release. Yeah. Then Gears Tactics, that was another one. But yeah, anyway, rant over. It's been really bothering me. They need to get that sorted out. Are you the same platform or not? Because
exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. They're like celebrating this whole like union and PC and Xbox being the same thing. Which is great in theory, and I'm like, oh, fantastic. But now, since this has happened, a lot of people can see it, especially from Xbox's side. Yeah, it's like a negative, where it's just like, oh, well, this is actually impacting us because, like, instead of them working on games that would maybe just be on Xbox, something like that, they're putting more resources into PC, like you said, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a little bit weird. Yeah, you can't help but be a little bit salty that since we started to partner and be a bit more compatible with PC, there's just like delays on Xbox end, or things coming only to PC and later to Xbox and stuff, and you're like, well, this isn't benefiting everyone. It's being seen as a little bit of a negative for one half. So they definitely need to pull their socks up and sort that out. Yeah. And I guess these things take time, but
without doubt. I don't know if you've seen our chat, but we have naked HD XYZ fire emoji. Have a good time. Find love. Go away.
Have a good time.
I don't know why. Love. Yeah, it's just like a spam
Sounds
bot.
Like a
For some
bot,
reason,
yeah.
like on the last of our 15 podcasts, we have like a bot. I don't know how it's slipping through the I have auto moderation on. I don't know how it's slipping through it. It's really confusing.
Oh, it always does. Yeah, when I was, it happens to like smaller YouTubers as well and channels. It's almost like the algorithm focuses more on the bigger channels and stuff like that, and then stuff slips through the net for like smaller channels, which obviously YouTube care less about. You know, priority needs to be, you know, put on the accounts that matter, you know, and have like an image and a reputation behind them. Yeah, because when I was doing YouTube videos and for like my channel way back when, I used to get spam bars all the time. But yeah, I guess they just slip through the net as you go down. But yeah,
It's very confusing. Does that mean we get free P-Hub Premium? Is that what that means?
free P-Hub Premium. I don't understand. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that from?
Is that what this is? This is what this bot can do for us?
That's quite the assumption, dude. Where'd you get that
Question
from?
mark?
Why'd you got that in your brain? You want Pornhub
He
Premium,
says he's-
do you, Deck?
No, I don't. I'm just curious. He's called Naked HD XYZ. Have a good time, find love, dude.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, maybe you can get me a P-Hub Premium subscription. It's quite the jump.
Can you pull some strings for me?
Yeah. Hit
Get
me
me
up,
some
dude.
like, yeah, it's like fucking Microsoft points, but for P-Hub, you know.
God.
Or get some merch.
I think it is.
Anyway, there was an Annapurna showcase this week. I don't know if you saw that. And Annapurna are like one of my favorite publishers for a while. Annapurna they're like, to me, they've got like a similar level of prestige as like Devolver Digital do. They consistently publish amazing games. For example, Ashen was like, I think their first one when we played Ashen. That's great, right?
Yeah,
That's like an 8 out of 10 game.
Yeah,
Good.
Ashen was great. Yeah.
Like a co-op Dark Souls, Souls-like, whatever. Since they've put out Outer Wilds, What Remains of Edith Finch, and a handful of others, but those two now have current gen upgrades, and those two are both two of the best games I've ever played in my life. So I'm gonna say again, if you've never played those games, go and play them. I don't know if Edith Finch is still on there. It's still on Games Pass. I'm pretty sure Outer Wilds is though. But you know, whatever, they're cheap as chips these days. Edith Finch is like 4 hours long. Outer Wilds might take you 8 to 10. But they're some of the best games I've ever played. So big ups to Annapurna. They always make really good games. Maybe like 12 Minutes was as well. Maybe not. No, maybe not. I can't remember. I just know whenever I see their icon pop up at the beginning of a game, I'm like, it's gonna be good.
Buying it.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. No, I haven't played any of those, to be fair. But yeah. Sorry.
Big ups to Annapurna. That's all right, dude. Okay, what's next? What's next in the news? I think maybe Black Panther.
Yeah.
It's Black Panther time.
It's Black Panther time.
Yeah, this came from Jeff Grubb over at GiantBomb just maybe last Tuesday or last Monday. I can't remember.
It was recent.
But it was it was essentially the report was that, or the leak was that this game is being published by EA, made up of a new team headed up by one of the old directors or veteran devs over at Monolith Studios. I don't know if the actual development team has a name yet. I don't know, but we've spoken about this before, where there's been like loads of splinter studios with loads of veteran devs either popping up all over the place. And this is one of them. And they've been given Black Panther IP as their first game, which is pretty exciting for them. So what are your thoughts about this news?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the EA logo in general, but you know, the brand behind EA, they've done some good stuff though, to be fair. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's like another Marvel game, right? And it'd be interesting to see what someone can do with a Marvel IP outside of Insomniac. So I think that will be, quite interesting. Black Panther's a really cool character. And Monolith is the studio. You said that it's like a branch off from Monolith, or like someone who worked at Monolith is helping. What did you say it was?
Yeah, it's a new team. It's a new team, but it's headed up by one of the old like directors, leaders at Monolith.
Oh, okay, cool. Because Monolith are the people that did the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor, aren't they? Yeah.
That's right.
So obviously those are fantastic games. Yeah, I can't fault those games. So that's pretty exciting. In that aspect. Yeah, pretty pumped, dude. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah, I think it's quite exciting. I think it's quite exciting. You can definitely see like Shadow of War with a Black Panther skin over the top. Like in Wakanda,
was about
like
to
really
say,
pretty visuals.
Do you think the Nemesis system will make a return? Finally.
No.
Will somebody use that like really good fucking piece of tech and idea? Because the Nemesis system was great, but no one does it.
No, I think Warner Bros. Somebody that's not EA has a patent on it. Like they've straight up patented it. So that's
somebody use it. Jesus.
Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird that you can like patent something like that?
An idea.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is. Yeah, an idea, right? Yeah, I guess, but I guess that's what happens. It's just less so when it's like a concept. Like I don't know if you can like patent a concept or like you have to get it into some sort of like code before you can say, yeah, that's mine, and that's essentially what they've done. But it doesn't.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
It feels like a really odd thing to be weird to allow to patent,
Yeah, it's like Smash Bros and Nintendo like patent like just that formula of fighter, right? That's an idea. That's just like but they haven't.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. Yeah, could we just patent platform fighter?
Yeah,
exactly. Like Fall Guys being like, can we patent a game show game? Anything with like a slice of novelty. It's like, oh, can we lock this down?
Yeah.
So that it seems like a bit of a grey area to me, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, but yeah.
Nonetheless, I think this is, and this really goes into the wider conversation about kind of what's happening with a lot of these Marvel games. We've heard that there are other Marvel games in development. I am surprised. I mean, I know. Well, I am surprised that Sony don't have any involvement in this whatsoever. And I think Jeff also said that from what he understands, there are no Marvel IP going on at Xbox, but he does know there are some others going on that he can't talk about. Yeah. But it seems like there is a lot of like multi-platform, which like we've learned this lesson before. Like clearly, publishers are just happy to go, or like licensees, like Marvel are essentially just happy to go wherever the money is. Like they're happy to ditch Sony if somebody else is going to give them more money. And so it just creates this, there was, I think, a period of time when maybe Wolverine was announced that we thought, like Sony are gonna get all of these and they're gonna have their own cinematic universe. But it's less and less seeming like that's going to be the case. Obviously, Spider-Man is huge, Wolverine is huge as well. But if there are another 2 or 3 of these coming out that are multi-plat, then you look at Avengers as well. It really does dampen that a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I think ultimately I think this sort of stuff is going to drive Marvel fatigue up a little bit. The fact that it's like coming out just on like different publishers, different platforms. Yeah, like and then you look at what was the Ultimate Alliance, the recent Black Order or something like that. That was Switch exclusive only. Like
it's just kind of everywhere. It would just start to get a little bit obnoxious, won't it?
Yeah, it was just like, imagine if all of those shows got picked off and put between different, platforms, like streaming platforms, like Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
it'd be so annoying, and I think we're going to get to that point where it's like people are going to care less. Because
especially
Marvel's
when they're
known for having that universe.
Yeah, especially when they're like, oh, I want to play all these different types of Marvel games, but I need to own the family of consoles to be able to do it,
Yeah.
And that's quite a lot of money on my half, but I want to play Ultimate Alliance and I want to play Wolverine, but hey, I want to play Black Panther, and it's just like, at some point, I'm sure Xbox are going to get like an exclusive one just as well. You know, I think it's probably just a matter of time with, like you said, the trend of what we're seeing of them just jumping ship and going with whoever gives them more money. You know, at some point, I'm sure Xbox is going to grab one. And yeah, it's just going to be like, it just becomes annoying for people to be able to, you know, it's not ease of access anymore. It's just like, yeah, it's just, you have to have so much different stuff to be able to play them, and it just becomes annoying for the end user.
Yeah, that's right. And I guess like it's like one of the main things that people think of when they think of Marvel is kind of like the Avengers, like the team ups, the multiverse, right? And the fact that that's never going to really happen unless it's all under one roof, I think does diminish it a little bit.
Disjointed.
And what, yeah, that's right. And what, like, I think what Jeff Grubb described as what the foundation of the game was an interesting one. It was essentially like the old Black Panther had died and you're stepping in to take the new mantle. So I don't know if it's like a create your character kind of thing, right?
Okay.
And you kind of, or if you're a pre-established character in the universe, but it makes for these sort of self-contained Marvel stories, which is obviously good. But then it's like, this could be a story about anyone.
Yeah.
That this wouldn't have to be a Black Panther thing, you know, because what would make it a Black Panther or like a Marvel or like, you know, would be like the team ups and like the wider universe and everything. So I don't know. This sort of stuff kind of makes me a little bit more relieved that Xbox are just doubling down on their own IPs. Don't get me wrong, I'd like to have access to these Marvel games, but if they're going to just be games with a Marvel skin, that's very different to like a connected gaming universe, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt that Wolverine, it will resemble probably take quite a lot of inspiration from like God of War and Kratos, you know, in the way he acts and being so gruff and all that sort of stuff, you know. And like you said, it just ends up becoming another single player narrative with a Marvel skin on it, right? So yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. Speaking of big IPs, big licensed games, Knights of the Old Republic, Tim. You might recall Knights of the Old Republic as a timed exclusive, announced as a timed exclusive to PlayStation for 632 years. But it was recently announced this week, straight from Bloomberg and Jason Schreier, the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake is indefinitely delayed. The developer Aspyr abruptly fired 2 directors this month and told staff that the project is on pause as it tries to figure out what comes next.
Damn.
Oof. That's a big oof.
Yeah, Jesus. It's just straight up sack 2 directors and pause the development process. It's kind of nuts.
It is. The reason, there's been a lot of smoke for well, maybe not smoke, but there has been like, you know, it has been littered with controversy a little bit because Knights of the Old Republic, of course, was like it was an Xbox exclusive back in the day. It only ever came out on Xbox. Made by Obsidian. Right? Now first party. So this game has a lot of brand recognition with Xbox, and Sony obviously jumped to the opportunity to try and, you know, make Xbox look really stupid, which they kind of did, because when this was all announced, we were all like, the fuck? How's this happened?
How does that work?
The first bit of smoke, I suppose, was by the fact that the developer is Aspyr, who have only really ever done ports and like remasters of Star Wars games. It was a bit of an odd choice because like a remake is a big job. Like, you know, it depends on where on the continuum of like remaster to remake it falls. But, you know, sounds like it's a big job. So everybody was a bit unsure about that. You know, everybody was like, you know, is this cape? You know, are they going to be able to do this? And the second thing was like, why didn't Xbox pick this up? Maybe it's just a benefit of hindsight, but we can now say maybe they got a peek behind doors and they were like, with what they're asking for, you know, for the money, the licensing fees, a potential delay to like 2025, an indefinite delay, you know, we could be talking a long time. It's just not worth the investment right now. And Sony can put up a title card on screen, which will look good for them. Ultimately, we can put this money into new IP, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Yeah, for for sure. Yeah, it just seems like it's it's a little bit of a messy job, and an odd pick, studio wise, like you said. It kind of seems like a little bit of almost like you shot yourself in the foot a little bit, sort of situation. But maybe they'll sort of branch it off and get another studio to sort of help out and make it, but who knows? Give it a Respawn.
Give it other things to Respawn. Yeah, they'll do it, for sure. Yeah, so a bit of a tricky one, and it's a damn shame because I never played Knights of the Old Republic. Have you played it? No. And I have heard like amazing things. It's Obsidian, so it's going to be good. And it's always been a game that I've really wanted to play. It's like play your own Jedi kind of thing. And then you can go to the light side or the dark side, etc., etc. So this is just a lose-lose for everyone. Everyone loses. Like, literally. Given that this is going to be a Sony timed exclusive, because like Forspoken, 2 years, totally not overkill. Like, definitely, like 2 years. What the fuck? Like, this is going to be like 2 or 3 years timed exclusive. So we're not going to be playing this Tim until we're like in our 40s.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's pretty nuts. Yeah. It kind of sucks that they just took it and kind of shat the bed with it a little bit, and now everyone loses, like you said. Not ideal, but thank you.
No, yeah, definitely not ideal. I mean, hopefully they get it all sorted, because I'm sure a lot of people are excited about a Knights of the Old Republic remake, but this just makes things very, very slow. But not the end of the world. Xbox sales, Tim. We had sales reports from Xbox and PlayStation this week. And I'm not sure. I'm assuming these numbers, or the figures that came in against the estimations, were made after. Those estimations were made after Starfield and Redfall had been delayed, right? These weren't pre-delay estimations, because obviously they would be expecting more hardware if they hadn't been delayed. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, essentially everything's down. This was for Xbox and for PlayStation, but just focusing on Xbox, everything's down. Gaming revenue declined 7%. Content and services revenue declined 6% due to lower engagement and monetization in third and first party. Xbox hardware revenue declined 11%. Games Pass subscribers continues to grow, however. What are your thoughts on that? Are we doomed? Is it end times for Xbox? Is Philly taking our money and running?
I think it's definitely what it looks like. Yeah, I think Philly's probably on his way to like Cuba or somewhere right now, with just a big old stack of money. Probably liquidated Bethesda to get some of it, to get some cash, assets.
Imagine if he became a supervillain.
What? Like an actual cheesy supervillain. Like stereotypical supervillain.
He grows a mustache.
Yeah,
teams up with Elon Musk.
Just becomes a real life Waluigi.
Yeah,
fucking.
Have you seen real life Waluigi? Have you seen those jetpacks that people like? They're not new anymore, but those water jetpacks that people would use. It would have a floating thing, and people would hover, and they looked so stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's Philly.
I imagine Phil would have one of them. Yeah.
God, that would be absolutely fantastic. This is actually the future I'm looking forward to.
Cancel Xbox. By all means, if this is the future we get, by all means.
Yeah.
Do it.
Sign me up for this multiverse. No, it's not end times. It's just you see dips at times like this. We can't deny it. Even as an Xbox podcast and Xbox fans, Xbox are going through a little bit of a dry spell at the moment. There's not much happening. There's not really much of a reason to, first party wise, especially if you played the stuff leading up to now. There's not really much of a reason to buy an Xbox right now, at least until sort of 2023. Probably around sort of March 2023 when you see the likes of like Redfall or Starfield or something like that. So it doesn't surprise me that interest is dipped in hardware sales and stuff like that. But I do find it interesting that Games Pass subscribers is still growing, which makes me think like there was just, even though hardware sales are down and less people are buying consoles, does that mean that like still quite a lot of the Xbox ecosystem of users aren't actually subscribed but are still subscribing even now? I find that really weird. I almost just assume that anyone who owns an Xbox just has Games Pass at this point, but I guess not.
Well, yeah, I mean, there were some interesting numbers about that, actually, and there is a lot of meat to this. But before I get around to any of that, we've got a comment from David Cohen here, who says Xbox Series X has been successful. It's powerful, it's quiet, has free backwards compatibility and free upgrades, and finally the best deal in gaming with Games Pass. And we absolutely don't disagree. And this is kind of the other side to the coin, right? Despite this, Xbox has still had its best sales in a fiscal period ever.
Yeah.
Sus. And as you can see by the clickbait title, right, just down here.
Yeah.
Got ya. Xbox Series X has also been the market leader ahead of PlayStation 5. Well, they've said in next gen sales, right? So Series X and S versus PlayStation 5, for the last 3 quarters in North America.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask me, that's a pretty big deal. And not only that, just as we started the show, I saw a report from Kotaku. No, was it Kotaku? Sorry, it wasn't Kotaku. It's from VG Charts, which we know are estimations. They're not real figures, but essentially showed that the sales of these two consoles are neck and neck. And I'm struggling to find the report now, but I think I said it was like 7.67 to the PS5 million. That is 7.67 million versus 7.2 million to the Xbox Series X and S. Not even 500,000 within each other.
Yeah.
Like that's 0.47. 470,000 consoles within each other.
Yeah.
That's pretty bonkers to me. Like that's I don't feel like Xbox has any right to be that close to PlayStation
No.
right now.
yeah. It's especially with like, yeah. I mean, well, to be fair, it's not like Xbox has had a bad year. Like leading up to like maybe like a few months ago or a couple of months ago, there were a lot of reasons to own an Xbox, to buy an Xbox, and to be a Games Pass subscriber. It's only like we just had a dry spell for a long time, like over like the last few months or something like that. That's basically what it is, and now throughout the rest of this year. So I don't know, man, and I think as we said in previous episodes, hype sells, and people know that Xbox are building. They're building an arsenal of studios and IPs and stuff like that, and this stuff's gonna hit pretty hard in 2023, and Series S's are Series S, isn't it? Series S is available. They're fairly easy to buy, fairly easy to get your hands on. They're tiny, they're portable, they're kind of cheap. People are going to buy. They're going to invest for the future, and they're going to enjoy some of the stuff Xbox has right now. So yeah, you say we have no right to be that close, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we kind of do.
That's the thing. I don't. Well, I guess so. This is like where things get complicated because it's been a spot a year because obviously supply chain issues still continue to be a thing. You could make, and we've spoken about this before. We could make the argument that PlayStation is being hit harder by this, and there is more like reserve demand. Like as if suddenly, if both platforms, 20 million consoles just ready to go, more PlayStations would fly off the shelves than Xboxes. You could make that argument,
especially now.
But similarly, in the last, what are we in? I can't believe it's about to be August. Oh my god,
yeah, it's mental.
I'm literally gonna have a baby in like 3 months.
That's cool, man. You got this.
It's been less than 8 months since we had Forza Horizon and Halo come out.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been a year. It's been just over half a year since those games came out. So it's a bit, I guess, the perception and the discussion that that slate gets cleaned come January is a bit silly to me. Like, we've still had like 2 or 3 first party AAAs. If we include like whatever, like Psychonauts, that was at the end of last year as well.
Yeah. Which is what I was saying.
Age of Empires.
Yeah, there has been a decent reason to own an Xbox up until the last recent months. Like, we've only had a dry spell for a certain amount of time. Prior to this, it's not like Xbox has had a bad 2022. That's the point I was making. Hardware sales, speak for themselves when you release, two pretty decent first party games like that in the first half of the year. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess so there is that, and then obviously we look at PlayStation's releases this year, and it's been pretty strong. It's slowed down a little bit, but they've been I think Gran Turismo came out, didn't it? Horizon, and those have been the 2 pillar releases really. And then they've had smaller things like Stray, obviously just came out as well, and we just had As Dusk Falls. So yeah, it becomes this kind of quite complicated, messy conversation. But I'm still of the opinion that PlayStation has more mindshare generally. Game Pass subscribers are probably continuing to go up despite hardware decreases because of the platforms it's on. People who are on Xbox, I know people who are on Xbox One who I've been like, oh, you should check out Games Pass, because it has this, that, and that, and they subscribe to it. They don't need to buy a new console to get access to any of that, So that's the thing as well.
That's true.
The other part of this conversation I wanted to have with you, Tim, was about all of these different subscription services. I saw a report earlier about like the success of subscription services in the industry, and currently, I'm struggling to remember which order it was, but it was essentially that Games Pass was the 3rd biggest like gaming related subscription at the moment. I can't remember the number, sorry. I believe PlayStation Plus was the 2nd biggest, and Amazon Prime was the first, the top dog. So and that's really interesting. So it's like, PlayStation Plus has more subscribers than Games Pass based on the last public numbers given, and the reason for that arguably is because PlayStation, it would be like if Games Pass and Gold was bundled together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, you need,
whereas Games Pass doesn't do that.
Yeah, the PlayStation Plus is literally having access to the internet, right, on your PlayStation to be able to use online features. Without any of that, you can't play any online features on a PlayStation, if I'm not correct. So you'd have to at least have the essential tier, which is why the numbers are higher, compared to Games Pass. Yeah,
and so it's a bit of a funny comparison that's really hard to sort of fully draw conclusions from, because if Gold and Games Pass was counted together, I think that number would be skyrocketing. I think the PS Plus number was about 40 million. I think Games Pass was about 30. I think Games Pass would skyrocket to about 70 if we included Gold as well. Maybe 60. So yeah, it's just a funny old year, isn't it? Coming out of COVID, arguably, this might be an ongoing thing. We might keep saying this for years that we're still coming out of COVID. But as a result, gaming is down. We saw everything explode. We saw the Animal Crossing frenzy when we went into lockdown. So now I guess we're just coming down from that a little bit as well.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I find it weird that comparison between Games Pass and PlayStation, they didn't include Gold. It's almost like they did it that way to like kind of fudge the numbers in PlayStation's way. Like you said, them having a bit more of mind share. It's just a little bit weird. Like, clearly they knew what they were doing, right? Like, I don't know. Seems a bit weird.
I think it's probably a nice byproduct. I don't think they created that service to be like, oh, we can really stick it to the, with the numbers. But I think you're right. it's a nice bonus that they can say, oh, we'll be able to officially say that we have more subscribers than Game Pass because of the way we've done it.
Yeah. It's just a bit weird, a little bit toxic.
Because it's not even like they've because there have been discussions in the community like, should Xbox bundle together Games Pass and Gold and like just eliminate the Gold option and just bundle them to one. But some people would be pissed at that because some people, I mean, it will be a small amount of people, but some people will just want access to online and want to continue to buy their games physically. You fucking weirdos. But they will want to do that.
We know.
So that becomes a
play
mistake.
with a couple of people that do that still. So
True.
Yeah,
and they're weirdos.
They are. They're weirdos. We hate them.
Yeah, we hate them.
If you ever find this podcast,
broccoli.
I'm joking. We don't hate you guys.
I'm not. So and it's not even like they've done that. They've just kept what PS Plus was before, added 2 extra tiers, and be like, oh, this is all like the rebrand. All of this is the rebrand, so this all counts. This all counts. Because you don't. I think you just get like the games with Gold equivalent, don't you? With the Essential, and then you get like the Games Pass equivalent in Plus. What's it called? You've got it. What's it called? What's the second tier called?
You got Essential. You got Plus. No, you got Essential. You got Extra, and you got Premium.
Okay. Yeah. So Plus, the second one is the Games Pass equivalent, really. So
which is
if
extra.
If they just. Yeah, if they just took the numbers of the top 2, the plus the Essential,
the Extra and the Premium.
Essential.
It's called PlayStation Essential, PlayStation Extra, and then PlayStation Premium. So you're saying
Extra and Premium.
Yeah, Extra and Premium. There you go.
Yeah, if we slice those 2 off and just took the numbers for them, that would be much lower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Because that's a more apt comparison to Games Pass.
Yeah, that is to me that is a direct comparison to Games Pass, and that wouldn't come close to 30 million the Games Pass has. I mean, I don't know, but I would assume like I'm sure a lot of people did have upgraded to the Extra. I know I did because it cost me like 20 quid for like the rest of the year or something. So I'm sure they probably got some pretty high numbers, but I can't imagine it's not going to be 30 mil.
And don't get me wrong, like let's not forget that the PlayStation overall has a bigger install base in terms of consoles. Xbox has a bigger install base because they're on phones, they're on PC, etc. But you know the strength in those areas is still growing. So you would expect some pretty good numbers on the PS Plus front. Because it's a good service as well. We've spoken about this on the show. We both think it's a good service. Tim literally has it.
Yeah, it is. It's a good service.
It's not as strong as Games Pass, we don't think, because it doesn't have day and date, and I think that's going to hurt them as we move forward. You know, when people are subscribed and God of War's coming out and they still have to pay $70. You know what I mean? Like that, something doesn't feel quite right about that. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, interesting nonetheless, because Xbox being the market leader in NA, which is where we started with all of this, for 3 quarters running is surprising to me.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'll have to see. Okay, Tim, we're doing really good for time.
Nice.
I think we've only got a couple of things left. One of them is the oof sound from Roblox.
Oof!
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 Just do this throughout the whole segment.
Yeah, it's just, this is like a true gaming like funeral. Like, it's sad that we're losing this. It is rough.
Yeah.
So the Roblox oof sound is being taken out of the game because it's having licensing issues.
God, that's crazy. Yeah, because that oof was like, it was just like I don't know, it came off like some sort of social media or something, and I guess they just took that soundbite and used it.
Yeah.
Not cool. But yeah, no, that's rough, man. I love that sound.
I mean, apparently it's been an ongoing battle for a while, but it's like taking the, like the gotta go fast away from Sonic. It's that iconic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
My arm's starting to hurt.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, it's a rough day for Roblox. Is this literally official? Like as of now, it's just out.
That's I don't think it's out as of right now, but it's happening soon. Oh no, it has been removed from the wording makes it sound like it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Damn, dude. Can they not just record their own?
Be doof. Yeah,
and it wouldn't have
they
licensing issues. It would just be like an imitation.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, get me in. I'll do it.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it, to be fair.
Oof.
Give us your best oof. Like proper give me some beans, dude. Why didn't that work?
What do you mean?
Why
didn't that work?
Your mic
Did you
didn't pick out anything. That was so weird.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof.
Alright, there you
Oof.
go. Yeah.
Oof.
That was
Oof.
so anticlimactic. You like wound up and everything, and I don't know if it was just a delay on my end, but I didn't hear a single thing out of your mic when you did that.
I do need to mess around with my mic sensitivity. I don't know if I know my voice sounds like I have a dick up my nose a little bit, but like the software is struggling to pick it up. I don't know what to do. Maybe I have to click the dick in nose option. Maybe that's I've forgotten.
Oh yeah, of course, dude. You gotta tick that one.
So silly of me. So silly.
Idiot.
Yeah. Grounded is getting a full release this September 27th.
Nice.
We love this team. We love this game. Started out really, really small. And, it calls me back to when a certain member of the IGN press, God bless his soul, because I think he's a really good guy.
I hated what
a good podcast. I like this guy. Generally, I like this guy. I like all of his content, but this was a really out of character thing to say when he said that they should cancel Grounded and get Obsidian on the next Elder Scrolls to speed that up quicker.
Dumb.
Where's the Elder Scrolls show? Where's the Elder Scrolls show? Animated show. It's not getting one, is it? Grounded is.
That's such a weird set. Where's Elder Scrolls show? Huh? Come at me.
So actually trying to argue that Grounded is bigger than Elder Scrolls.
Cheers.
With visual hallucinations. I see bugs everywhere. They're huge. I'm tiny. Where's Elder Scrolls show?
Yeah.
Drachma? Nah. Skooma? Nah.
Mate, I could do with some skooma.
Bugs. Yeah, I could do with some skooma. Tastes good, that.
Skooma. But yeah. Yeah, dude,
So,
grounded types, and I'm glad they did it, man. I'm glad they. Obsidian do this quite a lot, don't they? Where they just like to just do different things, quite a lot.
Yeah,
they don't tend to just stick with a formula, and they're like, "This works, let's just do it." They're just like, "Let's do grounded, let's do pentiment, let's do this, let's do that." They just change, they're all over the spectrum.
They do a big variety of stuff, that is absolutely for sure. But Grounded's arguably the only one which isn't because I was going to say the one thing that they always do is tell a fantastic story, and I don't know what the story is for Grounded, but let's be real, it's not the main focus of the game.
Get big
it's
again.
The survival elements. Yeah, get big, and then you just step on all your creations, fucking eat the bugs. Which is it's all the more impressive that they nailed. This is one of the best survival games out there. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even just saying that. It's one of the best survival. It plays really smoothly. The building mechanics are really rewarding. It's paced really well. The world is surprisingly varied and interesting, considering you're literally in a backyard.
Yeah. There's loads of enemy types and loads of really cool destinations and stuff like that. There's just stuff on the map, like a giant juice box, like a giant tic tac, stuff like that, and a tree that hosts a den of giant spiders and stuff like that. It all serves as really cool areas which you wouldn't have thought would work, because like you said, you're just in a back garden, but it feels epic. Don't know how they've done it, but it's good.
Trying to block this person because they haven't given me a subscription yet. I can't believe it.
I was wondering why you had silence. I mean, just oh god.
I'm like trying to figure out how do people do this. So not just like an easy block button. Pin.
If you
add moderator.
Add as moderator. No.
Maybe that's how I get those P up points.
Yeah, those P points.
Hide user in this channel. Is that it? Is that what that means? There's no like block up. Put user in timeout. Yeah, right. You're going on timeout. You're going in the naughty corner. You're going in the sin bin.
Yeah, that bot's gonna really regret. Now he's been put on timeout. He's gonna really rethink his life. His AI life.
He's gonna gain sentience. Put hide user on this channel. Is that what I want? Will that do it?
I mean, it means no one else will see it. So sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I've done that as well. That's a big oof from me. Oof. Yeah. Oof.
Oof.
Oof. I just blocked him and he's come back.
Oh god.
New AI dating for all tastes and ages. How many of these do you have?
Send me
Go
the
away.
link.
No.
Link me up, daddy.
Get lost. Oh, my HelloFresh just arrived. Let's go. That's my HelloFresh sponsorship.
They don't do it in the UK. We're from the US, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's weird that. I literally reached out to them. They're like, yeah, fucking, you send us a message. Because I've been using HelloFresh for like, this is not even a sponsorship. I've been using HelloFresh for like 3 years. And I think it's amazing. I make delicious food. A Cajun chicken pasta with creme fraiche base.
Sounds fucking fantastic.
Good. It's very good. I even made pinwheels the other day. I was going on about pinwheels, wasn't I? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember your pinwheels.
Like,
how were they?
Pesto, tomato puree, and bacon lardons wrapped in pastry. Snip, snip, snip. Pinwheels, good stuff. Yeah, so good, man.
So good. Yeah. So good. I'm a big fan of pesto. I like pesto, man. It's really good.
I like pesto. Do you know the main ingredient in pesto?
No. What's the main ingredient in pesto?
Do you even know what pesto is? Because it surprises me every time.
Is it like is it got like cream cheese in it and stuff and like a? What's in pesto? No,
not even close, actually. But it does have that sort of texture, doesn't it? It is weird.
Just absolutely no, and miles off. Actually, idiot. Wow, dude, really threw me under the bus.
I know what you mean. No, I know what you mean because like you taste pesto and you're like, what is this? Like, what actually am I eating? Like, I could be eating like
blended up snails.
I could be eating like ant shit right now, and I don't know what this is. It's mostly pine nuts.
Oh, okay.
It's pine nuts and basil and olive oil.
That was it. I said oregano, but
there is a little bit of parmesan in it as well, so there's a little bit of cheese in there.
Nice.
But yeah, that's good. It's funny, isn't it? I don't want to know what's in red pesto. Like that's getting into sorcery territory.
Save that one for next week.
Yeah.
Our pesto podcast.
I need to know now. Pesto podcast. Let's go.
Sponsor
my morbid
pesto.
Curiosity got the better of me.
At pesto.
Yeah, just pesto. Let's go. I imagine it's just like tomato based, right? Instead of pine nuts, is that right?
I would imagine so. Yeah, it's just probably tomato. Yeah, maybe some red pepper. Maybe.
Well, hang on. What's the? Oh, instead of basil, because that's the green bit. Let's have a look. Sun-dried tomatoes, red pepper, basil, still pine nuts, parmesan, still. Yeah, it's just there is still basil.
I thought you said steel pine nuts there.
Steel pine nuts. That's right.
Steel pine nuts. Pine nuts dipped in steel.
It's a delicacy, that is. If you're a Magnemite.
Wish I was a Magnemite.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Always were a bit weird. When I was younger, I remember my mum bought me a Magnemite. Wait, no. What is that? What's the evolved one where there's three of them?
Magn Trio or something. It's like Magna Trio or Magnum. Yeah. Magnum.
I feel like we should really know this. This is pretty embarrassing. It's not Magnetrio.
It's Magneton.
Magneton.
Well, I don't think I should know that because I'm gonna be honest. That Pokemon fucking sucks.
No.
The evolution is just just three of them glued together.
Yeah, actually, it's a bit fucked up, isn't it? They're all just like bolted together. Like there's
Yeah.
actually just like
What was if they have different interests?
flathead screws.
Like one wants to go to like a rave, the other wants to go to like a farmer's market. Like what happens there? They got to go one way, right? They've all got to agree on a destination.
Yeah. What if one likes red pesto and the other likes green pesto? What are they going to do then?
Dude? That's crazy.
What was I going with that? Oh yeah, my mum bought me like a Magneton. It was like, they had it like on the shelf. They had it like, and it was like shiny and shit, all of it. And my mum bought it for me because I was a good little boy. Did my chores.
Nice.
I don't know where that is actually. I mean, I'm still in a card. Yeah, I've still got cards on the brain because I'm still selling these for 250 quid a pack. Let's go.
Oh, you're still going through them? How many you sold?
I've sold 2.
Okay. How many you got left?
Yeah. 3 left.
Nice, man. It's like passive income. You're like spreading it out.
I am, yeah. I could have done them all at once, but I probably should have because you have to pay like a slight listing fee on each of them. But like, I'm getting like a lot of dopamine. I'm getting a big hit of dopamine from each single reward, and I'm gonna milk that dry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just have like after like a really shit week or something, just be like, oh, I'm gonna eBay one of these. It's gonna feel great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna improve my week.
It really helps ward off the ever encroaching
depression.
Visit of Thanatos. Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been doing. How did we get here?
I don't know. We were talking about grounded, and we somehow went on to a Magneton like sentient one liking green and red pesto, and how would that work? That's fucked. I don't know how the fuck we got there.
How would that work? Like, what sort of dispute? What if they're both positive and they repel each other? What's going to happen then?
I don't know, dude.
It doesn't matter because they're all bolted together. It's fucked. The whole thing's vegan. Fucked. Yeah, I don't know. What if one's pescatarian? What if one is vegan? What if one's just a meat eater? What are we gonna do? What if one's a cannibal? Crazy.
These are the sort of discussions you get here at the QRP.
Yeah, very normal, totally healthy, normal discussions. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Swiftly moving on.
All right, we've only got one bit of news left. So that was just padding. All of that was just padding.
Oh, we did it.
Is this the last thing? Yeah, it's the last thing. The last thing I whipped in the last second because I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And this was around. Okay, well, let me just read you the title. I don't know who this is from. I've just got a screenshot from IGN, so I'm really sorry. I really tried my best to find the author of who this was, so I'm just going to assume it's IGN for now. You know what it's like. You Google a headline and everyone just regurgitates other people's headlines, and you're like, and sometimes they don't source each other, and it's like, is this yours or have you just Control C and V this? What's going on? So, the headline: former Xbox boss says even, we encourage the console wars, but not to create division. So, this is we're talking about old Xbox leadership here, and we're talking about Peter Moore, who was the head at the time of Xbox 360, and he went on to become the Liverpool football CEO.
This is a big boy.
He's a big boy. And he worked for some other big companies before Xbox. I can't remember who exactly, but if you've ever seen Peter Moore talk, this shouldn't surprise you. He's the dude was very clearly very passionate, but he was quite intense in the way that he marketed things and pitched. He would go out his way to take jabs at PlayStation all the time. Okay. The dude got I think he got a Halo 3 tattoo and a GTA 4 tattoo, because I think GTA 4 was exclusive to Xbox 360 for a bit. Like, the guy loved money hatting, and just to clarify, if you don't know what I mean when I'm saying money hatting, it's like essentially just throwing money on top of a game to have it as a platform exclusive for a little bit. It's essentially timed exclusive, or just buying something that would otherwise be multi-platform just by throwing a lot of money at it.
Yeah,
360 had a lot of those. We like to think we've kind of reached an age of like enlightenment now in the Xbox era, where we don't kind of want to create those walled gardens so much anymore, and it's more like let's play everywhere. But Xbox played back then in the 360 era, it's played a big role in the momentum to where we're now at, arguably, with the Forspoken 2 years timed exclusivity, Final Fantasy 7 remake, the indefinite exclusivity, so so it stoked up a lot of discussion on Twitter. People were like, oh, this just proves everything right about what we've said about Xbox, they love the console wars. And it's like, well, not only is this this is outdated. Yeah. This shouldn't be surprising. Like, they literally timed exclusive. They made Oblivion a timed exclusive. Like, yeah, it was toxic, dude. Like, it's toxic. There's no way around it. I'm not going to try and contradict myself here. I don't like timed exclusives, and I'm not going to change my mind just because it was from Xbox back then. It's toxic.
Yeah. We've always said we hate that. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me. It's a business world, right? Like, you got to do that to make money. We've always said console wars and PlayStation, Switch, and Xbox being competitors. That drives in a lot of ways better value for consumers, in a lot of ways not. Like, we're talking about like money hatting and stuff like that. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. It's a completely normal business move. Like, I'm not shocked. It's not like there's a skeleton in Xbox's closet. Like, I'm not.
yeah. Everyone's like, oh, I can't believe they wanted to beat PlayStation.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Exactly. It's like, it doesn't surprise me, and you still see bits of, like you said, with Final Fantasy and Forspoken, you still see bits of it happening today. This day and age. So like, nothing too surprising there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is what it is. But it's definitely one of those things that we can look back on. That's kind of a relic of Xbox's past, because they generally don't like to do this. The most we get with timed exclusivity now is like indie games getting 3 months exclusivity, maybe 6 in some cases.
Yeah.
We're still waiting on Deathloop, we're still waiting on Final Fantasy. Like, all of these ones that, and I'll keep going on about it, but like these ones with 2-year times exclusivity, like back then it was like 30 days.
Yeah.
30-day COD map pack. Remember that?
I do.
Nah,
yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. It's mental.
3 years.
Who's going to play a COD fucking map pack 2 years time?
Where does this buck end? I keep saying this, but I don't understand how this is not regulated. I don't get it. Like, people make these comparisons about, like, oh, imagine going to fucking getting dinner, and then they're like, we'll give you your chips in a year's time, and it's like, oh, I guess I'm still getting the thing I paid for, but it is substantially worse quality and kind of it loses a lot of cultural zeitgeist, therefore it's worth less value now. Yeah, maybe not in money. Oh, you're telling me there's a problem? You're telling me there's a problem?
So this has been the QRP. This has been the QRP. I'm going to end this podcast. Jesus. What was that?
I've got a bit of a headache. I bounced my head around a bit.
That was nuts.
Where does, because you can't just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, we can't be talking about PlayStation in 2025 and then making 4-year-long timed exclusivity deals. Like, you can't. And people are going to be out there and be like, oh, it's libertarian. It's like supply and demand. If they pay enough demand for it and the supply, it's like, I don't care. This has to stop.
Yeah, it's not
This
fair.
has to stop at some point. Like, we can't have 20-year timed exclusivity deals. Or is that ridiculous? Am I being hyperbolic now? Sorry, 10 years. 7 years, 6 years. What's too much? Because is it exclusive or not?
Because by the time I'm 40, I'm probably still going to want to play a Final Fantasy 7 remake. So I think it's fine.
Right. Great. I guess
Sarcasm.
Like, the only thing. Yeah, I know, but like the only thing that could really cap this is the fact that in the deals they make, presumably it has to be in the same console generation, which they don't even have to agree to. But like, if they make an agreement to put it on other platforms after a certain time, but then can't because it no longer supports those platforms, that would be a breach of contract, I assume. But like, you know, the details of these things are going to be so like petty. You know, we've seen them before. We've seen like lead contracts where it's like, you're not allowed to mention other platforms. That's where like that other platforms meme came from. I can't remember what game that came from. Was it like Anthem or something? No, maybe not Anthem. I can't remember where it was like, because PlayStation had the marketing deal on the official trailers, the game didn't say it was coming to Xbox. It just said PlayStation and other platforms.
Yeah.
Like, it's so petty, and it's like,
yeah.
So anyway,
It really
2
is.
years is too much. Stop this madness.
Yeah. So when on the subject, we're getting Deathloop quite soon, aren't we? It's this year. I thought it was this year.
Who fucking knows? Yeah, it's meant to be your October.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe August, actually.
I feel like October rings a bell. I think it's October. But give it a quick Google. This is the part of the show where we Google stuff that we don't know about.
Yeah, it's because we all thought we'd hear about it at the show, but the fact at the showcase, but due to the fact that we didn't see it at the show, it's made us think, oh, they're not allowed to even talk about it. you know?
Yeah.
So it's probably going to pop out of nowhere, like this. Like, oh, Deathloop's coming next week, like that, or they've done some shitty extending of the contract because it performed so well, which is also super shitty. Like, they could make a 6-month timed exclusive deal, and then if it gets good reviews, you know, they give themselves enough wiggle room in the contract to be like they get the first right of refusal on the next thing. Yeah. Let's take this up to 2 years now.
Yeah, they're like, oh, actually, only got 6 out of 10.
public.
They can have it. Yeah. Oh, 9 out of 10.
Right.
20 years.
So shit.
Yeah.
It just puts the money first instead of the devs. Yeah, September. 14th of September is when it came out in the first place.
Yeah, so it'll be around September, sometime after that, yeah.
Yeah, you would hope. You know, you would assume they weren't able to get any further contract extensions
Due
because
to the fact that
Xbox
we
literally
own the
owned
studio.
Bethesda after that point. But to me, like, Deathloop would be another big saving grace this year for me, alongside Plague's Tale.
I'd love to play Deathloop, yeah.
So that'll happen at some point, I guess. But yeah. Oh, God. All right, I think we're done here.
We did it. End on a nice rant. Nice.
Yeah, that really, I'm like a bit sweaty after that.
You did go a little bit.
Sorry.
To be fair.
Sorry, audio listeners, if I blew your eardrums out a bit. I really didn't mean to. It just confuses me every time. Every time it comes up, it just confuses me.
You're not the only one.
All right, Tim.
Yes.
Shall we get out of there? Any closing thoughts on the happenings of today?
Not really any closing thoughts from me. I kind of want to go home and play some MultiVersus.
Oh, jingle me.
Jingle? Oh.
Jingle me up, yeah.
Yeah.
MultiVersus. Yeah, I'm gonna play some MultiVersus, dude.
Yeah, I kind of just want to play some MultiVersus. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. There's a big patch coming for it in like a week or two's time.
Okay. Do you think that'll
after
include Rick and Morty?
I think so, yeah. I think Rick's coming first.
Okay.
Supposedly. So
That'll be kind of cool.
yeah, I'll be fun on it. Be the only thing we're playing until November, so
Yeah.
let's call that.
Yep.
All right. Okay, everyone. Well, if you've been tuning in this whole time, if you're watching us on YouTube afterwards, if you're listening on audio platforms, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, do the notification, whatever that thing is. Give us 5 stars Or 4 stars if you just think we were okay. Went a bit too hard on that rant. That's fine too. Other than that, thanks for being here for the QRP, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.